Welcome back to EconomicZ101, the podcast made for Gen Z by Gen Z, bridging the gap between economics, finance, current events, and our generation. With speakers Vish,
Hi guys.
Ritam,
Hello, everyone.
Sinan,
Hey guys.
and myself as host Mihir. Today we're talking about cryptocurrency. Over the last 10 years, this online market has taken over the world. Popular cryptocurrencies like Ethereum and Bitcoin have been spoken on by billionaires like Mark Cuban and tech icons like Elon Musk. Due to their decentralized and secure nature, this new sensation is a sleeping giant in the commercial market. We'll be covering a two-part series on crypto with today's and next week's podcast. To start off today, we'll be talking about the history of crypto and how it began, moving into how it's made, and then its economic impact and legality. Sinan, start us off.
So, hey guys. So, first we're gonna go over a bit of what exactly it is and just like its general history behind like cryptocurrency in general. So, it's cryptocurrency is fairly like modern to say it only dates back to like 1998 where like digital transactions and other monetary transactions were started like to become digitalized rather than physical money in your hand. Um, so like electronic banking was one type of this instance where in 1998 people started depositing money in like electronic devices, and then from there people would withdraw it, etc. Then with like multiple attempts to create like a proper sort of electronic way of banking, Bitcoin was created back in 2008 after the stock market crash. Anyone want to elaborate on that?
So, what I'm getting at from here is that Bitcoin basically started from a very long time ago, yet it's only coming up very recent now. Could you explain how that has become, more popularized in today's world?
It's not been super. It's not that much of a long time ago. Like as I said earlier, it's kind of recent. Like cryptocurrency has been a thing since like 1998, and it's just been evolving since then. So, for example, you said how much of an impact or how much it's growing over time. So, to keep it simple, the value of a Bitcoin, or which is a type of currency that people use when going over cryptocurrency, this Bitcoin, the value of it rise like prominently from like 2010 to this year. Like back in 2010, 10,000 bitcoins would give you like two pizzas. But now one bitcoin's worth around $50,000 US dollars, which is around like $500 million if you had 10,000 of those. That's what I mean by like how much it's like increasing in popularity and whatnot.
Yeah, so you were saying that the value of Bitcoin was going up, and I kind of just wanted to clarify because is it kind of like does it go up the same way as like stocks go up, or like how does it work? Like how does the value keep evolving?
Yeah, it's kind of similar. So like with stocks, like as the demand increases, as more like money is thrown into circulation, the price also goes up, right? Because more people want it, more people are buying, selling these stocks. It's kind of similar to Bitcoin as well, and other types of currencies, cryptocurrencies as well.
Wait, hold up. So you said you could 10,000 Bitcoin could buy two pizzas. The current price of Bitcoin is $58,000 a one.
Yeah,
Isn't that like absolutely
that's what
crazy?
I was saying. Like back in 2010, I was saying for 10,000 bitcoins you can get two pizzas. But nowadays, like as I said, one bitcoin itself is worth like $58,000.
Yeah, that's
I,
like absolutely absurd.
I mean, now with those, with Bitcoin being that much amount of money, maybe you can get pizzas with like caviar and gold flakes and all of that. I just think it's now better. So,
Your internet gluttony is showing, dude. Like gold pizza, come on.
All right.
Wait, but
all right, we're not talking
I
about
actually had
that.
a question. So I was looking at the graph for since Mihir was saying the value of Bitcoin right now, and it actually seems like it spiked up in like just a few months. Like in October, it was only what like just under $20,000, and now it's all of a sudden it's like 60,000.
Yeah,
So what exactly happened?
it's a really viral commodity. In the research that we were doing, we found out that Bitcoin follows a similar trend to a three spike trend. So with Bitcoin, there's an initial spike that's very large in its path to growth. The second spike is even bigger. And then the third spike is a little smaller than the second one. With these three spikes, Bitcoin has continuously grown from its measly price back in 2010 into $60,000 today.
I think one thing that really like affected like a drastic fluctuation was the fact that Bitcoin and other types of cryptocurrencies is more decentralized than like normal money. So for example, there's no like middleman or central authority that's in control of all these different Bitcoins or whatever other type of currency that you're using with your cryptocurrency, right? Because basically with a decentralized version of this, you have absolute control over what you own. Like for example, you do normal US money, that's more centralized, not decentralized, where the government can like freeze your bank, they can take money from your bank, do whatever they want with it because they have more power. And that can affect you in some ways because maybe you're losing money, maybe you're gaining money, but it's really random. With this decentralized system, you're in charge. Nothing changes except with what you have in your wallet.
I
But
mean,
wouldn't
yeah,
oh I
yeah,
cut
go
you off.
ahead. Yeah,
Oh
go
no,
ahead, go
I
ahead.
just had a question. It was like you said it was decentralized, where like so I'm assuming since there's no like governing people who control like the whole exchange of everything, wouldn't that also wouldn't that like cause some like disadvantages as well?
Yeah. So the other thing with that is like because there's no like middleman or greater authority to control like the output of these different things, like the price fluctuates a lot. Like literally just in 10 years, the price of a Bitcoin rose to like from like $1 to $50,000, right? And the same can also lead to a drop in that much amount, which is why it's like kind of dangerous as well. And the other thing is like a lot of people like they use because it's decentralized. It also retains like an anonymous part to you using the money. So for example, like when you're making a transaction, no one can like go back and find out who made the transaction or who it was from. So a lot of like illegal places like the black market, they utilize these type of currencies, and that's why in some countries like Russia, it's just completely banned. Like the only type of currency you can use there is like just their own Russian currency.
Wait, so we talked about how Bitcoin and its blockchain network that we'll get into later is extremely secure, but have there been like moments of fraudulence or like really bad things happening security wise?
So one thing, so for the most part, it's almost impossible to like break the system that Bitcoin or other types of cryptocurrencies go through since the way it works, it's super complicated. People won't even try to like breach the system, like make double transactions or fraudulent money. But there was one instance where back in like 2014, like I think 800 million bitcoins were like stolen from a certain wallet, which is just a place where people store the bitcoins before transacting them. And like that amount of bitcoins back then is already a lot, but in today's value, or like I think back in 2017 or 2018, that's like almost $5 billion. So other than that, like small time like breaches in the system, it's not really apparent.
Well, obviously, Bitcoin's infrastructure, security wise, has drastically improved since its inception. Before, there could have been instances like of fraudulence, like Sinan had suggested. But now, with a blockchain network, Bitcoin is quickly becoming one of the most secure networks of money transfer. Can someone elaborate on that?
Yeah, blockchaining it's actually way more secure than most of the kind of systems we have in place right now because it's pretty difficult to hack since blockchain, well, like the name, it's made up of a bunch of different blocks, right? And as new data comes in, blocks keep adding to the chain. And as this chain gets bigger, it becomes more and more difficult to hack. And these blocks also contain the information of all the transactions that have been going on. So with blockchain, you can see everything that has been going on within the blockchain. And it's still like without seeing who like the transactions are going between, and it's also still secure because like I said before, as the blockchain gets bigger, it becomes harder and harder to hack.
I don't know. With all of this, it just seems so close to Minecraft with all the mining, with all the blocks. I'm just saying that right now.
Okay, wait, hold up. You just compared a highly secure money transferring cryptocurrency to a literal block game. That was such a bad joke. I can't even. Okay, whatever. How
Wow,
about
thank
we?
you.
Okay, dude. How about we focus on the structure of blockchain and how it works? We spoke about how it's become much faster than its initial beginning, but is there like, do people process it? Are there different stops to work? Does the government work with it? How is it essentially being planned out?
Well, I mean, you said before that it was slow and like, or it's gotten faster, but it's still pretty slow compared to a lot of things. I just wanted to add that in. But anyways, you were saying if government's involved, it's actually not, because blockchain is a decentralized network where no single person has control of the entire system. It's more so everybody who's involved in the blockchain are the people who control it, and they can all see what's going on within the blockchain, but not necessarily the people who are doing these transactions between each other. So yeah, so that's to answer those questions. Yeah.
I mean, so if it's not being controlled by one central like government, so to say, well, stuff like the GME crisis where um companies, or sorry, not stock companies, but brokerages like Robinhood or Investopedia, where they froze GME, they froze AMC, certain stocks that were gaining extreme volatility and giving money to a lot of the consumers. Will that stuff happen with Bitcoin then?
No, that's the reason why cryptocurrency works with blockchain, because a lot of the skeptics before with cryptocurrency was that, oh, if it's an online currency, then the people who created the currency could simply just give themselves a large amount of money, right? But with blockchain, no one person, even if you created the currency that's being used, has control. So it removes these large monopolies or large groups of people that can control what's going on, because it's very democratic with the way that it works.
If it's like that, trending back to Retom's awful Minecraft joke, how are Bitcoins coming into circulation? How is this like even starting to become processed into a stock like situation with Ethereum, Bitcoin, and other things like the meme stock, meme coin, Dogecoin, or whatever?
Well, that all has to do with Bitcoin mining or cryptocurrency mining, and that is, I mean, that's like straying away from the structure of uh, blockchain, where like you have miners who, it's the process is really difficult, where you have to basically, so whenever there's transactions going on in a blockchain, right? Uh, there People have to kind of validate those transactions, and that's what mining really is. Somebody can go into more depth if they would like.
I mean, so miners are basically the people that, verify the transactions that happen in blockchain. And this is very important because it prevents double spending, which, if you guys don't know, double spending is when currency is copied and then is used rather than being sent to the party involved. So by mining cryptocurrency, it validates transactions and keeps the blockchain system trustworthy.
Essentially in this system then, right, with miners, they would use extremely powerful computers with really expensive CPUs and graphics processing units, um, to process all these bitcoins from its inception, where it comes from the blockchain. And then using this, you usually have like things like companies or massive groups of miners that are mining the bitcoin out to give it to the consumer. um, but in this system where there's a blockchain, there's no more middleman anymore. Even though it was much slower back in 2010, now without a middleman, it around 7 to 10 transactions are being made per every second, rather than a much slower pace back then.
And one thing I
What?
want,
What? Oh, you
oh,
can go. You can go.
oh yeah, no, I just want to add one quick thing. So a lot of people ask if it's like, for since with mining Bitcoin, you get the opportunity to be paid in Bitcoin for the work you're doing. So people ask if it's something that is like useful or something that you can use to get money mining Bitcoin. But It's just to add on with everything, like with how there's a lot of computing involved and really a lot of computing with a lot of power, and it gets very. You need to have like a large, like Mihir said, there's a lot of large corporations that are doing it, and individuals who try to mine usually don't get anywhere.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, same thing as Vish. Like let's say I wanted to start mining coins or bitcoins and other types of cryptocurrencies. Like, would that fare well against like giant corporations that are already doing it in mass, right? Because I know, like, I've seen like videos of someone having like 10 super massive GPUs, to like 10 different computers trying to like, mine Bitcoin. But like, what all that time and money even be worth it? Because since you're going up against like really, really big corporations, right?
I mean, in that situation too, we have to keep in mind that when you're mining, Bitcoin has a circulated release pattern. Every 10 minutes or so, they release a certain amount of Bitcoins, and people are essentially solving extremely complex puzzles to get this. This is why massive groups of people mining will always prevail against just the lonely one miner with their massive rig. And this also can relate to the massive GPU and computer parts situation and shortage of 2021. GPUs like the NVIDIA 3090, the 3080, extremely powerful GPUs that are capable of doing these types of mining are being bought out by resellers or scalpers on the normal market, and they're extremely valuable for high duty computing.
I mean, I'm a little sad that I can't find the 3090 RTX in order to play Cyberpunk. I bet it's because these people are busy, using it for their own mining cryptocurrency. So
I mean, hopefully 3 years down the line we might be able to have a chance at one of these beautiful GPUs. But for now, it's impressive, to say the least, how the blockchain system and the mining system has increased the efficiency of cryptocurrency overall. Could we know like any pros or cons of blockchain?
Well, I mean, overall, people really like the blockchain system, and because of where there's no main authority involved, and it removes the middleman that's involved, like you said before, and people want to even use it for things that are outside of cryptocurrency, like for insurance companies or voting and things like that, and things that would require a lot of trust, where you don't want people to hack or kind of mess with the system.
I guess that works for like security in that sense, but
Yeah,
are there
exactly.
any like downfalls?
Yeah, so I mean, although Vish said like had a lot of good points, like blockchain's like super secure and like it makes transactions like super transparent, so like people have more trust with each other, right? But the other thing with that is like it's super super slow, as we've said before. Like I think like just like a normal credit card like Visa, because of how many people they have, they're making like 1,000 transactions every second, whereas like blockchains only make like 7 to 10 transactions. And the other thing is like it also needs like a super massive amount of resources. Like as we said, like all those computers and GPUs that scalpers are trying to take for themselves. It just takes a lot of money and time to put together. So that's like if you're willing to go through all that and still like go through the whole blockchaining process, then it might be good for you. Otherwise, if you're trying to make like a small time thing out of blockchaining and like cryptocurrency, then it might not be like the best thing for you to do. And also there's definitely going to be hackers, like even like though people say like cryptocurrency is almost impossible to like break the code or like try and hack into, there's obviously going to be people that are trying to find one way or another to try and infiltrate these systems, so it's never 100% secure.
I mean, I guess that's a pretty good overview of the blockchain system of Bitcoin and mining. But I guess we can move on to its economic impact and legality. We all know cryptocurrency has skyrocketed in popularity. There's tons of apps like a coin page, dog coin, that are on the app store that people can get, where they can accessibly buy cryptocurrency and sell as if it was a stock, like on an app like Robinhood. Cryptocurrency is becoming vastly more oriented towards the consumer, and for as advanced as the Bitcoin system is and blockchain is, how does it really work for a legal side?
So the thing about cryptocurrency is that it's very hard to get regulated. So because of that, dark web services use cryptocurrency for their transactions and all their services. And because of that, it's very hard to track when you want to look back at your money in case it's stolen or anything. If anyone wanted to add to that.
Yeah, when talking about how it's not regulated, yeah, you're right. Since there is no real, like, I guess, middleman or something governing the whole system, it makes it difficult to track everything. Yeah, it does. That is a drawback of the whole system. But I also think that it's useful that it's more like democratic, and I don't know. I kind of see benefits in that as well, even though it can be used as like it can be harmful.
Yeah, there's definitely like good things and bad things to come with it. I mean, obviously, normal U.S. dollars, monetary transactions like that, they always depend on like a centralized authority that's governing how the economy is performing. And then in this case, it's literally just the consumers. Um, so it's like two very different types of economies. And obviously, both will have its drawbacks, but also good things that come with it.
I mean, in that situation, talking about what it takes to start it or work with Bitcoin, yeah, I found it was really interesting that you don't need your social security number or other personal information like standard bank accounts to participate in Bitcoin. And with that, I was wondering, how exactly does Bitcoin come to fruition? Like how, like with the meme coins or whatever that gained popularity over the last few months, like Dogecoin, how does one person go about starting a Bitcoin like as if it was like a stock or something like an IPO? Is there something similar for Bitcoin?
So for things like that, the way these cryptocurrencies can work, it's almost similar to stocks. Literally any source of event or any sort of news thing can help lead to the rise of currency. And because of that, we can also talk about stuff like the ICOs and IPOs. So other than the fact that, one has a C and one has a P, um, the thing is that for IPOs, which is more towards the stocks and everything, it's when a private company goes public in order for more people to buy their stocks. And for ICOs, it's more of the Bitcoin currency equivalent.
Hold up. What do ICOs and IPOs stand for?
So, ICO stands for International Coin Offerings, while IPO stands for International Public Offerings. So, I can talk about what an ICO is. So, it's a cryptocurrency equivalent to IPO, as I said, but it's best used as sort of a fundraising method. So, they require a campaign that pushes to what they would need, like the overall goal of a crypto that they desire, and like various other details, which ensure their crypto meets the requirements that they want. And all of this is in order for the startup of a cryptocurrency to sustain itself in like the long run. And that if it does not meet the funds necessary for people to buy it, then it ultimately fails. Does anyone want to like cover IPOs then instead?
I mean, once again, for IPOs, which is the international public offering, it's more regulated to a sense because this is more controlled with the stocks, and different companies can look upon this and they can add to this. And one thing that differs is that since they can look into this, so for an IPO, international public offerings, it's more connected to the stocks, and because of that, credit cards and debit cards, it's easier to track said stocks.
Even with the startup of these cryptocurrencies and the differences between ICOs and IPOs, now we know the legality of the situation, we know its economic impact, and now we know how to start it. But one of the bigger issues and themes of cryptocurrency, similar to in our last podcast, how we talked about the Suez Canal crisis and globalization, decentralization is a massive theme of cryptocurrencies. And a big debate that has had over economists today and over the past few years is whether Bitcoin and cryptocurrency should stay deregulated or whether it should be regulated more.
I mean, I think it should definitely be regulated more, right? Because the fact that this can easily be stolen by various dark web services, we need more ways to control this. So we know that if money is being taken away, we can easily track it.
I mean, also with that argument, like I know you said there's a lot of people that like try and like break the system, right? But then on the other hand, it's also cryptocurrencies, literally the word crypto in it, it's meant to emphasize like security and like a safe way to make monetary transactions online, right? So that's what I was thinking. It's more secure since like you're in control of the money or the bitcoins or whatever currency you use that you possess, rather than having a government say freeze money from a bank account or take it from you. You know,
I
wouldn't
mean,
that make more sense?
I mean, let's be honest here. We're all high schoolers. We're Gen Z. Our parents have been dealing with the monetary side of our lives, and as we've gotten more interested in this sort of thing, and started educating ourselves on it, have you had to deal with state issues or related to currency? I think I agree with Ritam on this one. I think it should be regulated more. Cryptocurrency has extreme potential to be massive. Like Tesla just like a few days ago bought $1.5 billion in Bitcoin, and to see that a market like that is exploding, I think regulation is necessary for it to get out of hand.
See, the problem with that is the whole point of it being deregulated is the reason why online currencies actually work, because no one authority has all the power. Because with one authority having all the power, or like I said before, with the reason why decentralization is important is because the creator of a currency or something like that, they can't like create money or hoard everything or something like that. So with or a more regulated system, it could cause more like scams or things where somebody has way more power than everyone else, and it could cause a bunch of different problems, or at least from my point of view.
I mean, I see we have a 2v2 going on here. With our differing opinions on regulation regarding to cryptocurrency. It's pretty interesting. Economists literally all over the world have takes on this, and cryptocurrency in and of itself, even though well, me and Stan disagree, Ritam and Vish disagree on this. It's interesting to see how with cryptocurrency becoming as popular as it is, how deregulation has impacted its increase in popularity, or whether regulation would have hurt it more. Regardless, I think we've done a pretty good job of covering the history, economic impact, and legality, and the process of how Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is made, and its situation with blockchain today. Um, I've had a lot of fun with my speakers, Ritam, Sinan, and Vish. Um, we're EconomicZ 101, and we'll catch you next week with part 2 of cryptocurrency. Thank you.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
Goodbye.